Installing this Road Angel Halo Go dashcam is a simple job, but Halfords will charge you £50 to do it for you. The Halo Go is a discreet little high definition dashcam that's only 87mm or 3.5 inches long and sits unobtrusively behind your rear view mirror. I bought one recently when it was on offer. It came as a package which included the Halo Go dashcam, a Road Angel hardwire kit, which you actually need for some features of the dashcam. There's a branded 32MB micro SD card, and finally a dashcam film which reduces reflection. Inside the box you get the dashcam itself, you get power lead, a plug-in adapter which fits into a 12V cigarette lighter, you get an adhesive pad, a trim removal tool and a quick start manual. Unlike a lot of dashcam power adapters, this one actually has 2 USB ports, so you'd still be able to use your cigarette lighter for charging your phone while the dashcam's plugged in, but it's still bulky and unsightly, and you'll have to run the power lead underneath the carpet right across the footwell before you can take it up through the trim. But more importantly, if you want to use all the features of this dashcam, including the winter mode and the always on parking feature, you're going to need to hardwire it. Hardwiring is much neater than using the cigarette lighter. A lot of people get scared about doing this, but it's actually a very easy job. I'm going to use a Road Angel branded hardwiring kit for this job, but you can use cheaper generic wiring kits if you want. Just make sure the power connector's got a micro USB connector on the end. The other key components are the piggyback fuse adapters. There should be several of these. I'll show you how they work once we've got access to the fuse board. I'm going to be fitting this dashcam to a Ford Fiesta, but the process is basically the same for all cars. There are 2 ways of fitting the dashcam. There's the basic method, which involves using the supplied 12V power adapter. This plugs into the car's 12V cigarette lighter, and then the power lead plugs into the adapter. You'll then need to hide the cable as best you can. In this case I'm pushing it under the plastic trim before running the cable across the footwell. For the purposes of this demonstration I'm just going to run the cable underneath the floor mats, because this is just an example of what you could do if you didn't want to hardwire the dashcam in. And then you can go up underneath the trim on the far side of the footwell, up towards the side of the dashboard, and from there you can run the power cable up and under the door seal until you get up to the roof lining. But as I said earlier, this is not a particularly elegant solution, and it will mean that you won't be able to use the full features of this dashcam, such as the winter mode or the 24-hour surveillance. The best way to fit this dashcam is to hardwire it in, and to do that you need to locate your fuse board. In most cars it's located behind the glove compartment. If you push in the sides, the glove compartment should drop down, and if we then look inside, there behind it is the fuse board. We're going to connect the dashcam to one of these fuses. If we look at the manual, it says that the Halo Go has to be connected to a constant positive fuse. This is one that's connected directly to the battery, unlike a switch fuse which is only live when the ignition's turned on. An example of a switch fuse would be the one that protects the cigarette lighter. To test if a fuse is a constant or a switch positive, you need to place one probe of your multimeter against the metal chassis of the car, and then the other positive probe on one of the exposed metal pins of the fuse that you're testing. Make sure the multimeter is set to 0 to 20V DC. The multimeter will then measure the potential difference between the chassis and the fuse. And if the fuse is a switch fuse, then you'll get a reading of 0V. Whereas if it's a constant positive, you'll get a reading of around about 12V. It's 12.4 in this case. Just make sure the ignition's switched off or they'll all read 12V. If you're finding this useful, by the way, hit the subscribe button below. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Once you've identified a constant positive fuse, make a note of which one it is and then remove it with a pair of long nose pliers. From the hardwire kit, select the adapter with the same blade configuration as the fuse, and then clip the fuse into place so that it's alongside the fuse in the adapter. This is sometimes called piggybacking the fuse. The adapter is then slotted into the same place on the fuse board as the original fuse that you removed. You'll then need to find a gap through which you can feed the power cable. And taking the power cable from the hardwire kit, take the end with the red and black connectors and push those up through the gap you identified and pull it through into the area behind the glove compartment. These are the red positive lead for the dashcam and the black grounding terminal. Take the red lead and plug it into the red socket which is attached to the fuse adapter. Push it right in and make sure it's fitted in snugly. The black lead with the spade connectors needs to be attached to the chassis of the car. So you need to find a convenient fitting that bolts down onto bare metal where you can slacken off a nut, push the connectors underneath and then tighten up again. That's the hardest bit done. So now you've got the power lead coming out from underneath the dashboard. This can be hidden underneath the rubber door seal. Use a plastic trim removal tool and then just run the cable underneath the seal. And you can keep doing this all the way up to the top of the door frame. In some cars you might find it easier to go up the other side of the door pillar, but you will find a way of getting it up there. And then when you do get to the top of the door pillar, just lift the trim with the trim removal tool and you should be able to slide the power cable underneath it. You're then in a position where you can start to work your way across underneath the roof lining, pushing the cable underneath the roof lining until you get to roughly the position where you want to install the dashcam. You'll need to leave 3 or 4 inches of cable dangling down, and then you can pull any excess cable back through into the space behind the glove compartment. Push any loose wire back underneath the door seal, and then if you push in the sides of the glove compartment you should be able to slot it back into place. The short length of cable between the dashboard and the door seal should now be the only cable that's visible, apart from the short length that we're left trailing by the windscreen. We're now almost ready to fit the dashcam, but first we need to insert the SD card. To insert the micro SD card you need to unclip the cap on the end of the dashcam by the base. It's the one nearest to the micro SD port if you're not sure. The card fits into the slot. There's only one slot and there's only one way it can go in. So push it in and then click it into place with your thumbnail. Clip the cap back into position and then we're ready to fit the dashcam in the car. Remove the lens cover and then the cover on the adhesive pad and stick the dashcam to the windscreen in the required position. You can rotate the barrel of the dashcam if you need to position the lens so it's facing forwards. When you're happy with the position of the dashcam, then insert the power lead into the micro USB port on the side of the base. Push any loose wiring underneath the roof lining, and then you can either stick the anti-reflective film onto the windscreen directly in front of the dashcam, or you can install the app. Personally, I'd install the app first. To install the app, use the QR code in the manual. That will then allow you to select either the App Store or the Google Play Store, and then download the app and follow the instructions to install it. It's all very straightforward. Once you've set up the app on your phone, you'll then be able to see in real time what the dashcam's recording. You can then adjust the position of the dashcam until you're happy with it. So I hope you found this useful. If you have, leave a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to Big Ted's Home and Garden. I'll see you soon.